I completely agree. You have to be careful while selecting who you should listen to. And I will say it should not be guys who spread misinformation without putting their time and effort to understand the technology. The real information which you need to stay updated to judge the market is positive. During this bullish phase of this cycle of the market, getting such a news is not a bad deal, and others like this are trying to push you away from that. We get a lot of positive updates pointing towards a tipping point in adoption, and that's not a small deal. When regulators are hitting the ground, they are trying to put out the regulations. You really need to understand this. They are all marking towards the green and sustainable future, so there is no chance an energy eating network would be coming to that area. And the market really understands this change in the financial system. And that's why big money is slowly moving in. Once they have that regulatory clarity, it's going to be huge for XRP2. Because you have to understand the money is moving into crypto and looking at expanding. And then comes this one from Brad, stating more than 100 institutions are working for the potential of XRP, but they all need that regulatory clarity to jump and move ahead. And that's what we have to understand. It's more than 100 customers right now. And once we get that regulatory clarity, it looks like it's coming soon, then we should be having more than 100 XRP using financial institutions around the globe. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. You can see that things are really changing, and when we, at a time when we are having all of this, as we just pointed out, you can see XRP is being highlighted as a currency for exchange to do that settlement in a real time. So as we move forward, do keep all these in mind, because this is happening, and at the time you are getting misinformation or at least mistitling to put that negativity out there. This article shows like Ripple open to using additional crypto assets aside from XRP. So it's kind of giving you that idea that they may not be using XRP. Instead, they would be jumping into different asset. So you should be cautious. That's what they are trying to give. But do understand, if XRP ledger and the functionality is not better, then something like Spark, which is coming to enhance that, will not get this kind of acceptance around the globe. At first, all of them were saying, nah. At least they were not giving that proper clarity. But right now, majority of the top exchanges around the globe has given their green lights for this airdrop. If you hold your asset in that, or if you hold in ledger, you are able to do that. Now, while you look at this and price, at the same time you'll have different ideas. Say, when the price was going down, I was getting message from my Patreon members. As I was a little busy with my personal life, I was getting a little bit of messages like, are we going down? The price is actually dropping. What should we do? Then I checked at the price. Previously, I told him we are here at this point in RSI. We would be breaking to the upside. Then that's a chance that the price may also follow that. RSI actually did that. It broke above, as you can see here. And then it was coming back to retest. So as you can see here, I highlighted them that we are going for a bounce. So the RSI and price are now looking positive. But if we break below, then the target is this. But we didn't. As I told, it bounced from there. The RSI bounced from there. And recently, just say when I was recording the video, say considering the time where I am, it was just half an hour before we were starting to break out. Now, you need confirmation before you jump in for a trade, because it can be a long wick like this, It can go up and come back and close and then say, no, I'm again going back to test this support. So you always need to understand possibilities of the market is a wide variety. If you use different indicators, you can study that. But if you use patterns and price action with little bit of little help from the indicators, that would be the best thing to do. Because while looking at the charts, you definitely have to understand different assets perform differently. Now, when I put this one, say 3 or 4 days back, stating, considering XRP and XLM, XRP broke above its trend. Yeah, you can see XRP broke above and it retested and it's going back up. That's a positive sign. Whereas in XLM, on one side, you can say it's still at the resistance. So as we break, we are going to get a lot of upside compared to XRP from this point. Now, at the same time, you do have to understand it is still inside this pattern. It hasn't broke and it didn't go to the upside. So keep that in mind as you continue, because when you zoom in to look at XRP, you kind of get a pattern in which we were following and we are working to a break above that right now, which gives you a confirmation for that. And similar perspective for XLM, it's showing you downside because it already broke to the upside. So here, XLM broke to the downside. And here in the comparison, XRP already broke to the upside. So what do you actually think about this bull run? XRP is going to underperform. As you know, majority of the maxis are saying this asset will not do much. Do you really believe, even after comparing with XLM, where you have owners or not owners, the founders of that project burning 50% of the supply, still the price is behaving like this? And in the other side, for the XRP, they're strong on their foundation, they believe on their vision, and they are still moving ahead. Now, when you look at all of this, you should understand whenever we have a pattern, you should look at momentum. And here, when the price was coming down, RSI was about to break. As I showed you before, I highlighted to my Patreon members that we are about to break here in the RSI, and the same should be reflecting in the price. Said then, there would be a retest and we may bounce. Now, that is what exactly is happening right now. You can go in to Coin Paprika, Coin Market Cap, or wherever you want and check what the price is actually doing. Now, if you believe these kind of information are valuable for you because you trade short to medium term, then you can look at the Patreon link given in the description. But if you are someone who is more into high frequency trades in and out like a bot, don't come in, because I have like 1 to 1.5% of cancellation after 2 weeks because they want high frequency trade, and this is not the place for that. We are not bots, we are human beings and we teach investing. I guide you through the books, I guide you with information and value for you to become an investor, to get that ability to think like an investor, to get that ability to look at the chart and say, okay, this is what is happening, and this probability is 70% is like this. Now, this is a symmetrical triangle, 50-50. But how would you actually get to lean to one side or other? Look at the MACD here. It is showing a break to the upside, even though it's in the negative territory. But the RSI broke above, came back, retested, and bounced. So while you combine all of these information, you are able to get that. Now, this is the real-time chart, and as I highlighted, if you go back maybe 2 days back here, okay, on December 4th, you can actually see when the RSI was at the bottom here, price was at the bottom here, many were selling. Even my personal friends were doing that, and I told them this arrow I plotted on the same day. I hope this is going to go to the upside, check this, and if it doesn't break, it's going to come back down, do the trade, right, inside the range. But it broke above there, and that's how you anticipate how things move. If you are receiving value for your time, do support the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Now let's actually move into the fundamental stuff, which really looks interesting, because right now when you see this one, which just popped out a couple of days back, showing new crypto regulations coming soon, and at the same time articles showing you, okay, Ripple is saying they're not going to use XRP, or at least they're going to use other assets. What you really have to do is go into that article and check what Brad actually stated and what these news media is interpreting. So you need to know the fact, the reality, right? Okay, so when you come and read through this, say this is the quote here. Okay, our vision really is, how do we make this plug and play and as simple as possible to plug in and take advantage of global liquidity across what ecosystem? Okay, so that's clear answer for that. Now, why do they kind of interpret in this manner? Because there is a point where he highlighted that if there is no liquidity for XRP in a particular corridor, then yes, they can look at other assets. And I don't actually think when they talk about different digital assets, they are talking about Bitcoin or Ether. I'll think something other, because they need that scalability, they need that frictionless effort, and then something near zero cost, at least if it's not competitive with XRP, something similar to it, or at least something which is better than others. So if you read through this, you'll actually understand that. So don't just fall for the title. If you have any doubt thinking, okay, I came to know all of this stuff, which is kind of moving away from this information, so what this author really wants to convey, then you read it and you understand that. So here also, if you look at where he's being quoted, you will understand what they are clearly highlighting, right? They are solving the problem of a customer. So in that aspect, if they put the customer first and say, okay, currently we can't use XRP efficiently, so we can look at different digital assets. So that is the story. Now, if they are working with 40 to 50 central banks, now the central banks are slow, you have to give time. And once they give that regulatory clarity, do you think they need other assets to settle in those corridors? At least I don't think so. And now when you jump back in and look at this, yeah, now I understand 40 to 50 central banks are actually waiting. Once US gives that green light, then would be like South Korea is a country who's kind of a fan of the US. Whatever they do, South Korea kind of follows them. So in a similar manner, there would be a lot of nations who will properly, precisely look at what US is doing and then type of follow it in one manner or the other. Now in this G20, you have to understand, when you go through this entire article, there's a lot of stuff, majority dealing with the current health crisis. But when you come at the bottom of this article, now entire stuff is worth your time. If you want to read, you can actually do that. I'll put this in this link in the, not this, every link in the description. So if you want to read that, it's going to be cool. Now here you see digital economy. We are moving into a digital economy, and when you come here, you get that catalyst for inclusive growth, innovation, and sustainable development. Okay, so you kind of go, okay, I understand that. Then when you come here, you get international taxation. That's again, But do understand, they are not just looking at fiat. They're looking at the entire digitization of the markets. And when they talk about the sustainable development, they always highlight this Agenda 2030. If you believe it or not, we will enter into that phase, and not everyone would wait till 2030 to do that. If you look at different countries, they have different targets. Say South Korea, they have a 2030 for what? The World Expo, so they are preparing for that as well. So at the end of 2027 to 2030, they don't have much time just to prepare for this. Instead, they would prepare right now so that they have that advantage. So if you would like to read through this, get more information, that's going to be helpful for you. Now, this is at a time you can see governments can create green, job rich, global, everything which is coming towards what XRP was designed to. If you have had listened to Chris Larsen before, he always used to highlight, you have the financial tool right now in your hand to stop the next global recession or Great Depression, which is coming if this technology is not used and the market is still having to receive more money from the central banks. These are going to happen. XRP Crypto Wolf highlighted this one, saying, Grayscale reports a record number of Ethereum inflow. Now, why is it actually coming in? One thing is that you have that regulatory clarity. And that's why, again, I go back to this and say, once we have this regulatory clarity, you're going to get a lot of investors coming in asking, okay, I need to get into institution, I need to buy the crypto, but I actually need to buy this crypto. Even though they understand this technology or not, that would be kind of the idea there. You have to keep those in mind when you invest, because if tomorrow you get 100 companies, names being announced, one say 10% of them being huge players in the financial market, what do you think XRP will do in terms of price? Meaning, what do you think investors will do when they look at this kind of opportunity? This is in a bull market, what we are talking about. Right now, this is a 4-hour chart, and we can see we had an impulsive move here, small one. Then we came towards that resistance. We corrected a little back. We came back, retested that, and then boom, we went above with another impulsive move. Now, the difference between these two are, if you look at the angle at which they were moving, now you can actually use this in coin trader and see it was moving something like this. Now, at the same time, if you take the trend angle here, that was my mistake, 26, and then you look at the initial phase of this area, you will kind of get much different elevation there. And then when that broke above there, it's directly going upside, perpendicular, say 90%, something like that. It's 83, but it looks like it's straight going to the upside, right? Now, if you put that on a daily, you'll get what I am conveying here. Now, I'll delete all these indicators and again show you guys what is happening, because the 200-day moving average is way below. Now, when you look at this, you'll understand almost all the time until the price consolidates a lot of time, it doesn't come closer. Let it be to the upside or to the downside. But in the meantime, we have that wave 1. Wave 2, and then consolidate and go to the upside. Now, even if we get that after wave 1, that's not a small deal. From the current area, it should be at least 300 to 800% a move to the upside, not from the current level, but from the bottom which we put in. So that would be 0.469. So say 0.47. So if you would really like to get that bottom and then take up these percentage, when you come towards just 600%, you are above the all-time highs. You're reaching there in. Now, look at what we had previously. Now, I remember majority of you would say, why do you actually go back, look at the history? Because the history gives you an idea what happened. If you're looking at the central banks printing money and saying, okay, central banks are doing this, why should I store my value? Because you understand if that does that, automatically inflation is going to kick in. And this is something similar. In a bull market, investors or human beings, they behave like this. Human psychology, emotion, money, it all goes that way. You have to read books to understand that. The financial market, if you're in, even for the short term or long term, you need those information. And that's why I would be conducting, personal education, financial education for crypto market, especially for all of my platinum members. Starting by this month, we would be having video conference, giving them more idea, discussing about their portfolio and the general market, and trying to educate them to become an investor, to think like an investor, to ignite that investor inside you. Anyway, let's move on further. As we look at the charts, we do understand that things are evolving, right? So if you look at BTC as of now, it's kind of showing you that trend that we all were looking at, right? Okay, this was forming this pattern, we were moving inside this, and when you zoom in, you can understand it's at that resistance. Now, you would need more clarity, you can zoom in, and again, you will get something similar to that of XRP, but the MACD is above here. That means on the positive side, and as it crosses, chances are more that it may retest its all-time high or even make a new all-time high. So that chance is still there. That has to be kept in mind, because once BTC starts rallying, yeah, it may take some of the alts with it a little bit, but do understand, during huge bull markets, when this trend is going up and some assets like XRP has started to pump like this, they continue to go higher because the positivity in the market is like that. Now guys, this is just a small SA family talk in which I would really like to say sorry I couldn't upload video for the last 2 days. It was my little boy's first birthday on December 5th, and I had a lot of preparation, then arrangements, cleanup and other stuffs to do. So I couldn't update you guys. But as I've been doing, I will be continuing to do the same thing for you guys. If you would like to receive more value for your portfolio, you can actually check the Patreon link given in the description. Now I know there would be some lagging emails and other contact, say messages and all, which I would be responding to in this week itself without any delay. So I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.